Good evening, all.
This meeting is being recorded.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We'll just start by quickly watching a video.
हे दोस्तों, वेलकम टू अपना कम्युनिटी। ये वो जगह है जहां आप अपने असली पोटेंशियल को एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं। देखो, सबके पास स्किल्स होते हैं, पर क्या आपके अंदर वो स्पार्क है जो आपको कामयाबी की ऊंचाइयों तक ले जा सकता है? अगर आप सोच रहे हैं जॉब चेंज करने के लिए लेकिन रेज्यूमे सेलेक्ट नहीं हो रहा, या फिर इंग्लिश में इंटरव्यू देना थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग लग रहा है, तो फिक्र मत कीजिए। यहां हम हैं आपके साथ, आपको सपोर्ट करने के लिए। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगी बेहतरीन कम्युनिटीज जहां आप अपने प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स को सुधार सकते हैं। चाहे आप एक्सेल, टैली, जीएसटी में माहिर बनना चाहें, या फिर आप खुद एक ब्यूटिशियन या डिजाइनर हैं, तो यहां आप अपने काम को शोकेस करके दूसरों को टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स देते हुए आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगा मेंटर्स का एक खजाना और बड़े इन्फ्लुएंसर्स का साथ, जो आपको हर कदम पर 1-to-1 गाइड करेंगे। यहां आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं अपने फील्ड या इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक ग्रुप्स, जहां आपको ऐसे कई लोग मिलेंगे जिनसे सीख के आप वो गलती ना करें जो वो कर चुके हैं। ऐसे लोगों की जिन्होंने स्टार्ट किया था एज एग्जीक्यूटिव्स एंड आर नाउ सक्सेसफुल मैनेजर्स इन देयर डोमेन्स, जो आपको आगे बढ़ाने में मदद करेगा। यहां आपको मिलेगा वो सही डायरेक्शन जो आपकी करियर को नेक्स्ट लेवल ले जाएगा। तो लेट्स अनलॉक योर पोटेंशियल टुगेदर। अपना कम्युनिटी में ज्वाइन करें और अपने सपनों की ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंचने का सफर शुरू करें।
Hey guys, so good evening. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. So we'll start today's session now. If you're attending these sessions for the first time, I would like to start with a quick introduction. This is part of Apna Community Exclusives. We host these sessions every day, regular sessions at 7 p.m. like today on weekdays, Monday to Friday at 7 p.m. Weekends, Saturday, Sunday between 3 to 5 p.m. these sessions are held. We have been doing this in partnership with Apna. QFIS has been doing this for the past couple of months. So we host sessions across topics like data structures, AI, ML, product management, interview prep, technical skills, resume creation, etc. So the main objective of these events is to help you grow professionally and help in the advancement of your career and get better jobs. So today's session is about how to prepare for data structures and algorithm interviews and crack them. So for this session, we have Aman with us. A quick introduction about Aman. Aman is a software engineer at Microsoft. He has more than 7 years of experience, and he likes sharing his experience and learnings to everyone and help them grow in their career. He has also been a mentor for a good number of years, and he's helped a lot of freshers and working professionals. We're glad to have him with us today. Thank you so much, Aman, for joining us. Before I hand it over to Aman, just a quick reminder, if you have any kind of doubts, any questions at any point, please use the chat box. You can put it out there. Aman will keep addressing it as and when possible. We'll also allow you to unmute yourselves at some point where you can ask the questions. So just a quick repeat that. आपको कभी किसी वक्त पे कोई भी सवाल हो, आप चैट बॉक्स का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। आपको बाद में अनम्यूट करने का भी मौका दिया जाएगा टाइम हुआ तो। So without any further ado, Aman, I hand it over to you.
Sure. Thank you, Siddharth, for having me here. Thanks everyone for being here, attending this uh, session. I hope that you guys will get something out of it. Please feel free to open the chat, and if you like, I will have some time in the end so that you can ask questions. You can ask questions in Hindi as well as English, or whatever language you are comfortable in. I am comfortable in these two languages at least, so yeah, you can talk to me in those two languages. So, okay, let's get started. I will just share my screen. I hope I am audible. So, yeah. Cool. Let me know if you can see my screen. I
Yes,
cannot
we
hear
can.
everyone, but
Yeah,
yeah,
we can.
cool. So yeah, hello everyone and welcome to this session. This session is mainly about data structure and algorithms. and how to prepare, how to crack the interviews, or what are the good things that you can do in the interviews. But it will be also like I'll keep it like I'll go one step back and keep it under the umbrella of interviews probably, and I'll talk more about them. I'll try to like keep informative content, and I hope it will be very informative. Keep posting your questions in the chat. I'll take them in the end, and we can have a discussion. I will have 10-15 minutes for the Q&A session where you can ask any type of questions that you have. Okay, so let's get started. This is me. I'm just software engineer at Microsoft. Yeah, I mean, you can contact me on various social media sites, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram. You can find me there. Okay, so let's first try to see. Okay, so we are going to talk about data structure and algorithms in detail, but let's see what are the different interview rounds that you have. It's not just data structure and algorithm. It's also like different rounds that you have to go through to crack an interview or to crack a company, not just fan companies or big companies, but also a lot of other companies out there, right? So some companies take online assessment, which is mostly DSA or some questions regarding OOPS and everything, right? They are MCQ. There are different patterns out there, right? Understanding the interview process is also important because you prepare that way, right? Knowing things, having good knowledge about computer science and coding in general is different from what your coding or interview ask you, right? I have seen a lot of good folks who are good coders, good programmers, good knowledge, good skill set, but still they are not able to crack the interviews because, I mean, interview processes are a bit different, and also sometimes it is based of luck. It's based on sometimes luck, but you can increase your luck by understanding everything about interviews and how to prepare for them, right? So online assessment is the first thing. Then sometimes happens that telephonic conversation might happen. If you're not giving online assessment, you might get a call from the recruiter. They will ask you a few questions, and that recruiters are technical as well. So they might ask you some questions about like JavaScript or like any front end thing or any DSA as well, right? So these are short calls, 30 minute, 45 minute, 20 minutes, short call where you are tested whether you are technically sound so that they can proceed for the interviews or not. Then there are face-to-face interviews. Face-to-face interviews like DSA, they might be two rounds. If you are a student, then two rounds will be there for DSA. If you are a bit experienced, then one round might happen, and then two rounds for high level design and low level design, right? So these are for mostly experienced folks. Design round, which are like folks who are who have more than 2 years of experience, right? Now also they have started asking to the fresher or college graduates as well, but they are very minuscule, like oops means object oriented programming rounds, or probably some basic concepts regarding that, right? And for students mainly, if there is no design round, there is definitely a project round, or probably where you will be asked about your project, whether you have done some internship or not, like some basic concepts of OS, networking, database, all those kind of stuff. And the last round, which will be common for experienced as well as uh, folks who are just starting out, is managerial, or as we know, HR round, where you are tested on soft skills, some project questions, some scenario or situation based questions, where you apply the star method. So these are overall the interview. It's not that every round will happen for everyone. Mostly 4 or 5 rounds happen, but it is on the basis of your experience that you carry, and then such rounds happen, right? So yeah, just wanted to let you know about the whole entire interview process. Not, you should not get overwhelmed with, oh, I have to like give 7 or 8 round of interviews. It's not like that. Mostly 4 rounds, or max to max 5 rounds of interview happen. But yes, these are the interviews. Okay, cool. Okay, do we have any question? Okay, I'll go then. So now, sorry, I am not able to hear properly. So
Sir, I haven't one question.
We have any question? Okay, please ask. So I'm not able to see the chat because I am sharing the screen, right? So you can just unmute yourself and ask.
మాది జాబ్ వచ్చాక మీరు కంపెనీకి ఏర్పడిస్తారా?
Yes, sir. I want to ask something
Uh-huh.
about bubble zone.
Bubble sort. Okay, so we are talking about, we are not teaching actually. Bubble sort, I can tell you about it, but I think it is about how to prepare DSA and everything, right? So can we take this question in the end? Because like it's about how to prepare for interviews, not uh, talking about, I know what bubble sort is, but yeah,
Hello,
just to keep everything in loop, right?
I'm audible.
Yes.
Like, sir, I want to know, like, if I study array 60 on array, if I on array and strings, if I study 60 DSA questions, will I able to crack a TCS Ninja job?
Yes, you can, but it also depends how you are preparing, right? If you are just preparing from the perspective ki, hey, I will just solve 60 questions and I'll able to crack, no. You will have to understand the underlying concept, what you are doing behind the scenes, whether you are able to think ki, if given a question, what you have to apply. And only array and string will not be enough. Suppose if you get a question from graphs or trees, right? So you have to learn all the data structure, not just a single or one or two data structure, right? Because sometimes questions might come out of those things. And you have to understand the basics concepts, ki how everything is working, whether you are able to recognize pattern or not, right? Whether given a question, what data structure to apply, how to apply, that those things are necessary. Okay.
So,
So let
Aman,
me,
I've just disabled the unmute option for now. When you're taking
yeah.
questions, no, just let me know. I'll enable it again
Sure,
so
sure, sure.
that,
Yes, yes. I think that would be helpful.
yeah.
I will take questions in the end. Meanwhile, keep posting your questions in the chat so that we go ahead and we will have a Q&A session in the end. Then you can ask questions. I think that sounds right. Right, Siddharth?
Sure, Aman. In case a lot of questions are coming in between, I'll just interrupt you. I'm having an
Yeah,
eye on the chat.
right. Sure, sure. Cool. Yeah, let's take questions in the end. Meanwhile, the folks can keep putting the questions in the chat. I'll go through them at once and then I can take the questions. Okay, let me move forward. So DSA preparation, this is the most important part of the interviews because you are judged on the basis of how you solve questions, right? As I said just a few seconds before, understand each data structure first. Understanding is important. It's not like ki, hey, I will just solve questions for these two or three data structures, then it will be fine. No, a lot of companies can ask question from anywhere. You don't know that whether the question will be asked from array or string or tree or graph or whatever, right? You don't know that. So that's why you have to prepare for everything, every data structure, and not just data structure. You have to learn and understand how they are used, how they are utilized. So what you have to do is start with simple array, then string, linked list, stacks and queues. Solve questions from each of them, right? Solve questions on each of data structures. Solve 30-40 questions from each. I have seen a lot of folks doing like solving 500,000 questions for DSA, right? So if your competition, if someone is competing with you and that person has solved 1,000 questions, I'm not saying 1,000 questions is the minimum thing. No, it's not like that. I haven't solved 1,000 questions. I have solved 150 to 200 questions. It's also not that you have to like solve 1,000 questions, but how you are preparing, how you are planning your preparation is what important. Whether you are able to understand the concepts or not, that is important, right? So what I suggest that first try to understand how the data structure is there, how it is implemented, how you are able to, whether you are able to understand how it is implemented. For example, if you don't know how to implement stack, right, how will you solve a question using stack? So even if you understand कि, hey, this question will require a stack to solve it, right? But you don't even know how to implement stack. So then all, like, even you have cracked the question, you are not able to code because you don't know how to implement the stack. So that's why it's important to understand each and every data structure and solve questions on the each data structure, like 20-30 questions on each data structure. You should always pick a language of your choice, whatever language you are comfortable in, pick one, whether it's C++, whether it is Java, whether it is Python, whether it is JavaScript. Pick any one language of your job. Don't keep changing your languages, right? Keep, like, choose one language and just go ahead with it, and then implement data, as I said, implement data structure and algorithm and solve question topic wise. That's what you have to do. You have to solve question for each data structure, for array, for linked list, for string, for trees, for graph, from DP, for stack, for queues, for linked list. There are a lot of data structures that is there, right? Then you have to understand different algorithms, like all the sorting algorithms, all the, whether it is like a minimum path algorithms, everything is there that you have to learn. You have to get prepared fully. First, try to solve easy question. People start that, hey, I'll start with medium or hard question. No, first you have to solve the easy questions so that you become more and more confident in solving the DSA problems. Because once you go ahead with the medium problems and you're not able to solve it, you will feel that, hey, I don't know, or you'll not feel like solving questions, or you will feel demotivated. That's why I tell that so suppose if you're learning array, pick easy questions which are solvable in 5-10 minutes, 15 minutes, so that you will be fully aware of the data structure, and it will also build you confidence. And continue this process for each data structure, right? And then move on to practicing medium level problems. And why I say medium level, because medium level problems are mostly asked in interviews, right? So that's why you have to do it. Try to find pattern in the question. Pattern is like really important. So pattern in the question, that it is a trick to get the question, to understand the question, and choose what you have to do. So suppose if a question has given key, the array is sorted, right? So sorted array may, like what we do, divide and conquer. So you should get the idea ki, hey, whenever array is sorted, can I apply divide and conquer algorithm or not, right? Because there you can just choose the middle point. You can move left or move right, right? Because the array is sorted, you might get the idea ki I can use divide and conquer approach, and then probably you will be able to solve the question, or probably think, at least think in that direction ki whether I can solve the question with those approach or not. So that is called pattern, right? Find the minimum path. Then you can think that ki, hey, is it a graph question that I have to find the minimum path from point A to point B, right? So that's how you analyze the question, you get the pattern. So you have to recognize the pattern as well, because when you recognize the pattern or start recognizing the pattern, it becomes very easy for you to solve a question, even if it is medium or hard, right? And then move on to the hard problems which are asked in interviews. You do not have to solve each and every hard problem. So you have to solve hard problems only which are asked in interview. Okay, so this was, till now we were talking about solving questions topic wise, or probably data structure wise, like array, linked list, graph, trees, whatever. Now move on to generic problems, because if you solve an array problem, you know that you have to apply the array. When you solve a tree problem, you know you have to apply the tree data structure, or node data structure, right? But when you go to generic problems, first you have to identify key what data structure you have to use, and I think that's the main thing. So that's why it is really important ki after you solve topic wise question and you get yourself comfortable with each data structure, then you move to generic problems. You don't know what will be applied, whether graph will be applied, tree will be applied, DFS will be applied, BFS will be applied. You don't know, but you have to first read the question and understand that key, okay, what is the problem and which data structure I have to apply. So that's why you have to solve questions which are generic as well, not just topic wise. And again, I'm trying to emphasize that you have to find the patterns in a question, right? And to solve generic question, what you can do is you can participate in coding context on Lead Code or various other platforms that are there, HackerRank, HackerUp. There are a lot of coding platforms there where they have like weekly contest. So that if you go into that context, you don't know that what you are going to apply, and that's where you learn. You understand question. You try to uh, build that problem solving skill. Ki, hey, given a question, I'll be able to solve the problem. So yeah, preparation is required, and you have to go through like multiple 2-3 months so that it will be like really you will build a skill where you can solve any problem. Okay, now another main thing that we have to keep in mind is time bounded the preparation. It's not
Aman,
that yeah.
sorry to interrupt you. Are you changing the slides? Like we can see only a static screen.
Oh, I am changing the slides. You're not
Yeah.
able to see?
No, no.
Okay. What happened then? I was changing the slides. Let me share once again. Can you see now?
Yeah, it's a full screen. Yeah.
Do you see DSA prep continue?
Now we can see. Yeah.
Okay, okay, cool.
There are some
So
questions you want to address now, or you take it in the end?
I will take it in the end. I'll just finish it and then probably take it in the end.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. So okay, so we have to also prepare using the time bound. Time bound means, see, in interview you have only 40 to 45 minutes to solve a problem, or in online assessments you have only like 1 hour to solve 2-3 questions, right? So that's why we have to prepare in a way that we are prepared for the interview. So that's why, like, what I do or what I would suggest, that if you are solving an easy question, like keep a timer for 30 minutes initially, right? And whether you are able to solve the question within 30 minutes, that's well and good. If you're not able to solve the question in 30 minutes, then stop it right there. Try to find what did you miss, what were you not able to think. Note that down, right? Because if you note that down where you are getting stuck, that will help you to prepare better, right? So you have to keep making notes on the side as well, where you are getting stuck, what are the problems you are facing, do you need to revisit any data structure or anything you need to study and read and understand it better so that you are not stuck. So all those things you have to do, and then move on to medium and hard. And medium, like, again, start with 45 to 55 minutes. Ideally you should solve it in 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. So you will start with time bounding these, and then once you uh, like practice more and more, your time should drop and you should be able to solve questions within the identified time. So that's what you have to do. You have to prepare in a way that you are preparing for the interviews, or you are giving interviews. That's when you create that mindset, create that skill, create that problem solving skills. Given 2 hours of time or 3 hours of time, like, you will solve a problem, right? But in interviews, there is only 40-45 minutes, so you are not able to solve the problem. That's why, like, there is a pressure to solve the problem in 40-45 minutes, and you are tested there as well, how you handle difficult situations, right? And this will also help in your online assessment, because online assessment, in 1 hour you might get 2-3 questions. There are thousands of students and they solve questions, like they come prepared. So that's why, as you are preparing for DSA, you have to follow this. You have to understand, you have to learn all those things, and you have to prepare in a way that you are ready for any kind of interview, right? So these are the time foundations. It can vary for some. Start with 1 hour is starting point, but move as you prepare more and more, as you spend some more time preparing, go with that. So that's what, like, you have to keep in mind. Okay, so like, many students ask me, or even professional, what if I'm not able to solve a question, what should I do? So that's what I suggest. Read the solution of the problem. If you're not able to solve the problem in given time frame, or even after 1 or 2 hours, read the solution. Why you were not able to solve. Note down what you were not able to think. Where did you get stuck? Note these things down, right? I think these are the problems. Some of the problems you will not be able to solve. Even I am not able to solve because they have a lot of complexities, intricacies that are there, right? So what I do is I try to see what I could not think, what I could have done better. Is there any concept that I need to learn, right? Is there any algorithm that I have missed that I don't know or I'm not aware of? Sometimes you are able to solve the question, but the time complexity is higher. So you have to decrease the time complexity. So how you will decrease the time complexity? You have to see whether there is another algorithm or whether I could have used a better data structure, whether which could have like decreased the time complexity. So that will come by practicing. If you practice daily, if you solve like multiple question, if you go through multiple iterations, right? If you spend more time, so that's what will like keep you sharp. That's what you will be able to solve more and more questions. It's a skill, it's a muscle. Like if you are going to the gym, and if you go to the gym daily, you will build body. If you have right food, right sleep, and regular exercise, you will build body, right? Similarly, DSA is like that only. It's kind of mental gym. You have to practice daily, you have to understand the concept, you have to keep learning, and you have to keep practicing. It's simple. Anyone can learn that. Like people say ki, hey, you are talented or you are very intelligent. It's not like that. If you spend time, if you give it some time, if you spend 3 4 months, you will also be able to solve the questions, right? It's just that how much effort you are putting. Yes, for some, everyone has different way of grasping things. It might take 6 months for you, or for some it might take 2 3 months, but you will be able to do it if you are providing right amount of energy and time and focus into it, right? So yeah, how you are how you are solving the problem. So reading the solution, understanding where you get stuck, and then noting it down, so that when you face similar question, similar problem, you are able to recognize ki, hey, I was stuck at this particular point only, and this was the solution, and then you move ahead. So that's how you go ahead. Okay, now we are going towards the end. Then probably we will take questions. Some resources are there like Lead Code, Geek for Geek, Interview Bit, Take You Forward. And I think you guys know all these resources, but I listed it down. I personally use Geeks for Geeks and Interview Bit and Lead Code. First three, because I like to read. I do not like to watch videos. I like to read. I solve the question. I use Geeks for Geeks, and then I time bound the solutions and everything. So I have also done that while I was preparing for Microsoft. I have done all these things, and that's why I keep sharing my experiences and learnings. I have also made mistakes. I have also failed in interviews, multiple interviews where I made some mistakes. I learned from them, and that's why I keep sharing that, so that you do not repeat the same kind of mistakes. In interview round, we will see there are some generic terms which will, what are the mistakes that you can avoid, some good practices we'll talk about. Uh, so mistakes to avoid, of course, being late. It should not be late. You should be well dressed. You should not be jumping to solutions. That is one of the main things. Whenever an interviewer is giving you a DSA problem, try to like assess the problem, right? Do not jump directly. Ask clarifying questions. Ask what will happen if this is the scenario, what will happen if this is the scenario, right? Try to understand, try to like go through all the edge cases and everything. Do not use jargon words, and do not lie like, hey, I know these things, but you actually don't know, right? Interviewer, like, they understand what you are trying to do. Good practices, of course, you have to ask clarifying questions. You have to think out loud. Think out loud means when you are solving a problem, just say whatever is going through your mind, right? Ki, hey, I will use this method to solve this particular feature. So something like that. You have to keep talking so that the interviewer is listening. Ki, hey, if that person is going on to the right path, they will not say anything. If you are going on a wrong path, they might give you some hint. So that's why it's important that whatever you are thinking about a problem, you should like think out loud. I mean, say whatever you are thinking. If you don't know nothing, just say ki, I don't know that. Probably I'll go ahead and read that and uh, come back to you later, right? Introduce yourself well when you are going for interviews. Research a bit about company and learn from your mistakes. You will not crack each and every interview. There will be some interviews you will not be able to crack, and you have to like take learning from that and move on. right? You do not have to just keep thinking about that. So yeah, I think we are done with it. We will go ahead and uh, take the questions now.
Uh,
I'll stop sharing.
yeah. Aman, I noted down few questions. Should I put it across or you want to go through the chat?
Yeah. Oh, if you have noted, please put it across. I will answer them. Yeah.
Okay, sure. One question was any recommended books? Please provide some valuable materials if possible.
Books, cracking the coding interview is one of the good resources where you can have, uh, I mean, good book recommendations, right? Apart from that, if you want to learn data structure and algorithms in detail, you can go ahead and like uh, see Thomas Corman book. I think that's the book we studied during our college, and it's very heavy book. If you have time for like reading all the very big book, then you can go ahead, and it's really nice book. But if you already know the basics of data structure and everything, then probably you can look for cracking the code interview. I think that's a good enough book. Otherwise, you have multiple resources online, like Gigs for Gigs, I think is the best resource I feel, because it has topic wise questions, explanations, everything is there. So I really prefer that. Yeah. Next question.
Uh, what is DSA? But I think that's a technical question. We'll take it up in the
DSA is
end.
data structure and algorithms. It's that you store something in a structure, right? So how do you store data? So it's a structure where you store data, right? Where do you keep books, right? So you keep books in the almirah or your bag. So there is a structure for storing books. Similarly, there is a structure for storing data. That's why you call data structure. And algorithms are a way of handling things in an efficient way, right? So yeah.
Thank you. One question is very specific. What questions are asked for uh, companies like Microsoft and other similar companies?
I mean, the questions are not there is a certain set of questions that is asked. It depends upon the interviewer, and they can ask questions from any of the data structures they want, right? So yeah, there are no specific questions. Yes, it depends upon the round. If it is DSA round, they will ask question on the basis of DSA, and the level of questions will vary. You might get some easy questions. Sometimes you might get some hard questions as well, and it is totally dependent upon the interviewer that day, right? So that's how it works. And yeah, I mean, you cannot prepare for the only thing you can do is prepare for the interviews and learn everything from start to end, because you cannot say ki, hey, I cannot say ki just learn array and trees and you will be good. No, I cannot say that, because they can ask questions from anywhere, but you have to prepare for all the data structures. Yeah.
Got it. One final question that I noted down was there's someone who's pursuing graduation from IGNO and he wants to
Okay.
build a career in data analytics. So
Okay.
he's just asking if he's eligible after graduation.
Uh, I mean, yes, you can, but I don't have much details about data analytics, right? So I will not be right person to comment on that, right? Because I'm a software engineer, so I can tell you what to do to get a job into software engineer. But anything you want, what you can do is, it's a general rule, right? That if you want to go into data analytics, first learn about analytics, how things work, and build some projects around that. Whatever you have learned, build some project. Share your learnings, build some projects, create a profile where even though you are not like a data analytics person or a person from IT, but you have made some projects, you have done something, some work, so that, see, if you are saying that you want to go into data analytics, how would I, like, if you don't have a degree, how would I know that ki, hey, you know about it? So the only thing you can do is you can build some projects around you. Whatever you have learned, share your learnings and build some projects. Then only I will see your code, I will say ki, hey, oh, this person knows, and that will be beneficial for you. So that's the general thing. Even I have seen people from bio background, or people from BCA background, people from any other background, they have been able to crack IT jobs like software engineering, and even in good companies, just because they were like they really worked hard, they shared their learnings, they built some project, they created their portfolio around that, so that they were able to solve it. Yeah.
Got it. Before I go to other questions, there were a few people who wanted to unmute themselves, so I've enabled that option, guys. If you want to,
Hello, sir. I'm audible.
yeah, Ajay, go ahead.
Yes.
Sir, I want to basically go into the TCS.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the TCS NQT, they will ask a fixed question on array. Like it is 90% probable.
Okay.
In from which platform it is good to me to solve like 50 questions on array.
You can use lead code or geeks or geeks. You can also see past TCS interview experiences, right? Where what
As,
kind
as
of
I have
questions they
seen,
ask.
as I have seen in TCS NQT questions, the questions are directly not hard like lead code, sir. It will be
Huh, so
directly
it's
like
okay.
okay.
Yeah, it's okay. If you are able to solve it, then it's fine. But like you will go fully prepared, no? Right? You cannot expect that the same questions will be asked, or same kind of questions will be asked. Right. So, like, see, previous interview questions, TCS interview questions you have seen, and if you are able to solve it, then it's well and good. But you also have to keep preparing ki, hey, should I level up or not? Because it is not sure that they will ask the similar kind of questions in your interview, right? So you have to be prepared. I'm not saying they might not ask, but there is a chance that they will ask a different question where difficulty is a bit high. So what will you do then? So that's why go prepared fully. You can solve lead code is also not very hard, right? It's just a platform where there are questions related to a topic. So you can solve questions on lead code, or even Geeks for Geeks also. They have their own coding platform where you can just filter out by array and solve questions. So you can do that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello,
Yeah.
sir. Hello, sir.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Hello.
Sir,
Hello. Yes.
now I'm a passed graduate from a Tier 3 college, and if I want to reach the FANG companies, so not just FANG companies, like big tech companies,
Mm-hmm.
how long would that take to upskill myself by covering all the topics you have said, DSA, system design, and
Mm-hmm.
some other frameworks? So how
Mm-hmm.
long would that take, and how can I approach that big tech company, sir?
Okay. Can you come again? You are already graduated. Can you give me a brief intro about what you have done and what is your experience?
Sir, I'm a fresher. I recently graduated from a Tier 3 college, and I have a background in computer science and engineering.
Okay.
Uh, and now I'm learning that all that core skills of my computer science engineering.
Mm-hmm.
So now I don't have the skills to reach those big tech companies, but in
Mm-hmm.
future I have some idea of getting into that company. So
Mm-hmm.
how long would that take to reach that height, and how can I approach them? As I
Yeah.
have currently they are hiring 2026 passed outs in Microsoft, Google, IBM, so big companies. So I don't have that eligibility. So how can I approach, and how long would that take, sir?
2026. I think they might be for interns, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, so if you have already graduated and if you have some background in computer science, see how long it is totally dependent upon you. So it might minimum 6 months, I would say. It can take more than that on the basis of how you approach, how you study, how regular you are, how consistent you are, right? And approach is simple. You have to do twofold things. First fold is like understanding and learning data structure and algorithms, right? Start to end, solve some questions, try to learn it, understand it, because that will be an important part of your interviews if you get interviews. And to get interviews, you have to do some upskilling in one of the things, like if you want to be a front end developer or back end developer, because you require some projects to showcase, right? Today, not like there is so much competition, only DSA won't work. You have to, if you are from college, from tier 1 college where they come on campus, then it's fine. Then they might not ask about your uh, uh, projects, or see, there also they ask for your projects, but it is a bit easier. But if you are going for off campus and applying to big tech companies, your resume should be strong. And to have a strong resume, what you have to do is you have to build some good projects, really good projects. So you have to upskill yourself, whatever you want: React, front end, back end, JavaScript, Java, Spring, anything you pick up, and you learn it, and you build some projects in it. Put everything on your GitHub profile. share your put Share your GitHub profile in your resume, right? Whatever project you are making, put it there on the internet. Do it live, keep it live, so that if I am a recruiter, I'm able to go ahead and see what you have done in your project, right? Keep sharing your details on the LinkedIn. So that's what you can do. Approach people on LinkedIn for job opportunities. So you have to keep doing all these things. But first, understand JavaScript, data structure and algorithm, learn it, solve questions, and then start applying after 3-4 months. So it might take 6 months, it might take more than that, but minimum 6 months of complete hard work, regular study of both dev skills and data structure and algorithm as well, right? So both are required. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone
There are a
else?
few questions in the
Good evening, sir.
Okay, go ahead, Anuj.
Yeah.
सर मैं एक टायर 3 से बिलो टायर 3 कॉलेज से हूँ।
Mm-hmm.
सर मेरी ग्रेजुएशन 2025 में होगी।
Okay.
तो सर अभी जैसा कि मेरे यहाँ की बहुत ज़्यादा सर डीएसए वगैरह कोई करता वगैरह नहीं है, मतलब कोडिंग का बहुत ज़्यादा एटमॉस्फेयर नहीं है मेरे कॉलेज में।
ठीक है।
बट सर मैं कर रहा हूँ, मैं मतलब स्टीवर भैया का सीट फॉलो कर रहा हूँ।
ओके।
हाँ सर, तो मतलब मैं एक ऐसा एक गाइडलाइन चाहता हूँ सर, मतलब एक रोड मैप चाहता हूँ जो मतलब कितना भी पॉसिबल मतलब हो सकता है 6 महीने 7 महीने के लिए आपसे, जो सर
हम्म।
आप मुझे बता दें कि अगर मैं उसको स्ट्रिक्टली फॉलो करता हूँ
हम्म।
तो मैं क्रैक कर सकता हूँ इन सब बड़ी कंपनियों के, जैसे माइक्रोसॉफ्ट वगैरह।
हम्म। हाँ,
तो सर
तो
ऐसा कोई रोड मैप?
तुम कर सकते हो डेफिनेटली। रोड मैप तो यार सी, सब रोड मैप बताते ही है, करेक्ट। रोड मैप एक ही है। हर टॉपिक को पकड़ो और उसको समझो और उस पर क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करो। अब जैसे स्ट्राइवर का तुम शीट फॉलो कर रहे हो, तो एक उसका 150 क्वेश्चन वाला सीट है, राइट? तो मैं ये नहीं बोलूंगा कि तुम पहले ही स्ट्राइवर का शीट करो, अ, ठीक है। मैं पहले ये बोलूंगा कि तुम पहले कोई भी एक वो उठाओ, टॉपिक उठाओ, उसके क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करो आसान से, राइट? क्योंकि स्ट्राइवर के शीट में जो क्वेश्चंस है वो अच्छे लेवल के क्वेश्चंस है, जो इंटरव्यू वगैरह में प्रिपरेशन के काम आते हैं। वो तब होता है जब तुम ऑलरेडी सब कुछ सीख चुके हो, तुम ऑलरेडी क्वेश्चन प्रैक्टिस कर चुके हो। तब वो 50, 100, 150 क्वेश्चन है कि हाँ भाई ये पढ़ लो तो तुम्हारा सारा रिवाइज हो जाएगा। तो अभी स्ट्राइवर का शीट मत फॉलो करो। मैं ये बोलूंगा कि उसके वीडियोस तुम देखो, हर टॉपिक पे उसने वीडियोस भी बनाए, राइट? तो कोई टॉपिक है जैसे ग्राफ है या एरे है या ट्रीज है, तो उसके टॉपिक्स पढ़ो, उसके वीडियोस देखो, अपने नोट्स बनाओ और क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करो। वो कोई भी प्लेटफॉर्म उठा लो, तुम गिग्स फॉर गिग्स उठा लो या लीड कोड उठा लो, और उसमें पहले जाके इजी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करो। तो सपोज तुम एरे पढ़ रहे हो, राइट? तो एरे पे देख लो कि भाई स्ट्राइवर के कितने वीडियोस है, अगर है तो, नहीं है तो किसी और का वीडियोस देखो। तुमको सीखना है। इट्स नॉट कि किसी का भी प्लेटफॉर्म हो, किसी का भी वीडियो हो, वो मैटर नहीं करता है। तुमको सीखना है, और जहां भी तुमको समझ में आ रहा है, जहां से भी समझ में आ रहा है, वीडियो देख के समझ में आ रहा है, पढ़ाई करके समझ में आ रहा है, गीक्स फॉर गीक्स से समझ में आ रहा है, बुक से समझ में आ रहा है, जो भी तुमको समझ में आ रहा है वहां से पढ़ो। और पढ़ के पहले आसान से 10, 15, 20 आसान क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करो, इजी क्वेश्चन, ताकि तुमको थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस आए। देन मीडियम क्वेश्चन करो। तो स्ट्राइवर का शीट ऐसा है कि तुम पहले सब सारे टॉपिक्स एक एक करके तुमने कंप्लीट कर लिया, सबके 20-20, 40-40 क्वेश्चंस तुमने कर लिए, फिर बाद में तुम उसका शीट करो कि हाँ अब देखते हैं कि अब मेरे से हो रहा है कि नहीं। तो यही रोड मैप है कि पहले चीजों को समझो, है ना। स्ट्राइवर का अच्छा है, मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा कि अच्छा नहीं है, बहुत अच्छा है, बट अगर तुम एकदम बिगिनर हो तो वो थोड़ा बाद में करो। मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा मत करो, वो बाद में करो, पहले चीजों को समझो। ठीक है।
जी सर।
यस।
There are few questions in the chat.
ओके।
One
Hi,
is
I'm
what?
an slow. So
हे
I want to know what kind of programming language I should learn before understanding the data structure, basic.
ओके। या
What kind of program I need to learn? Is it a Python or a JavaScript? Which one is required to understand?
Yeah, I mean, you can learn any language. It should be C++, Java, Python, JavaScript, whatever you are comfortable in, right? And if you want to learn, so see, there are two ways to think about it, right? Uh, you can learn C++, right, which is an object-oriented programming language, right? And yeah, it is easier to learn as well, right? So you can learn C++, but you will be confined in C++. If you learn C++, not many companies use C++ now, right? So it will be only confined to data structure and algorithms and probably concepts of OOPS, right? If you go with Python, I think what it will help you is you will learn Python, you are able to solve data structure questions as well, and you will be also able to build skills on the basis of Python. Like Django is a framework which is based out of Python, right? You can do some data science thing in Python as well, because a lot of those data science things are there in Python, right? If you learn JavaScript is a bit harder. Probably you will not get the essence of low level programming language or uh, data structure what they ask, but yes, you can also do data structure in JavaScript. And if you learn JavaScript, then what it will help you is that after learning JavaScript you will be able to go into the merge stack, right? So that will also help you out in building some skills like React or MongoDB or Express, any other thing, right? So it depends upon what your goal is, what do you want to do, right? So if you just want to solve data structure and be good at it, you can take up C++, and because it has OOPS concept, object oriented programming concepts as well, that will be helpful. But if you're thinking of building a skill while learning only one thing, then probably you can opt for Python or JavaScript, right? But if you can learn multiple languages, or if you have basic understanding of some languages, then definitely you need to learn some other language as well. But if you are a complete beginner, you have not coded like anything else, then you can either go with Python or JavaScript, I would suggest. Yeah, I
Okay,
hope
thank
I answered your question.
yes, you answered. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's one question which is asking in the chat box, which was your coding language?
Oh, so I started with C++. So in colleges they teach you first C, then I coded in C for some time, then I learned C++, then I coded in C++, and I for DSA question I still code in C++, even though I know a lot of other languages as well. But as I said, my go-to language is C++ when it comes to DSA, because I think in C++. So yeah, that is my personal preference, and yours can be different because like I learned it way back. If you are starting out, your preference can be different. Since you understand one language, it becomes easier for you to adapt to any other language, because you know the underlying concepts, key how object oriented programming means, and what is behind the scenes of array, and what is the behind the scenes of tree graph, how you create node, what is a class, what is a structure. So if you understand all these things, it becomes easier to move to any different language. So that is not a barrier for me. So pick any one language which you are comfortable with. Even if you have to learn any new language, it's fine. So currently I code in TypeScript, right? But I started with C++. I have coded in Angular as well, Java as well. I have worked on different frameworks, right? So a lot of programming language in my career. But yeah, still, if I have to solve a DSA problem, I go with C++.
Great. One more question, but I think it's similar to one that was asked. There's someone from Tier 3 college and he has expertise in MERN stack. He wants to prepare for interview. So he's asking how to approach.
Okay, so expertise in Stack already. So that's good. I think for Stack, so probably yes, there might be one round of DSA question, and you can solve the question in JavaScript. That's fine. Uh, if you are giving interview for Munstack, they will ask for core JavaScript concepts like hoisting or like custom functions and a lot of other things, right? So you should learn core JavaScript concepts, how window.set timeout works, right? How you create classes in JavaScript and advanced JavaScript concepts. Core and advanced JavaScript concepts you should definitely learn. They might also give you some project-based questions where you have 1.5 hours of time and you have to build something, right? So some project-based run where you have to create something from scratch. So they can ask you that as well. And yeah, I mean every company has their own set of yes, you will also be asked system design questions. Okay, you are a fresher, so they might not ask, but they can ask basic concepts of classes and oops. But if you are experienced, then probably you might be asked uh, high level design. But yeah, this is how it should work. And yeah, DSA, JavaScript core based question and sub question based on the Monstack key, how MongoDB stores data, right? All those kind of things that you have to, will you create a project? How will you create API calls? How API calls work internally? What is async await? What is fetch? What is the difference between them? So all those kind of questions you need to prepare.
There's one more question. Should I go with DevOps and start learning the tools? Is this the future in corporate?
I mean, see, everything has their own place. There is no uh, correct thing that DevOps is better or software engineering is better. If your interest lies in DevOps, you can definitely go for it, right? I know a lot of folks who are doing really well in DevOps, like Kunal Kushwaha. You might know him. He's one of my friends, and he's doing well. I have seen a lot of folks. There are a lot of my friends who are working in DevOps field. So yes, DevOps is a uh, different structure altogether, and I don't know what is required for that, but definitely you can build some good skills there, and you can get some good job. So if your interest lies in DevOps, you can definitely go for that. That's not an issue. So you should not think from the perspective of ki, what is future. Whatever you like, you should see only one thing. Whatever you are doing, you need good skills. You need industry related skills, right? So if DevOps requires certain skills, and if you have those skills, you are eligible for that. So go on LinkedIn. What you can see, a lot of folks ask, ki, hey, how can I prepare for this? What I suggest them is go on LinkedIn, search for DevOps jobs, right? And you will get some list of the jobs and see what are their requirements, right? What they require from you, and if you know them, then it's fine, apply it to that. If you don't know, write it down and learn those skills, right? That's how you get yourself prepared for those skills. So that's what you have to do. You have to prepare yourself for the industry, and not just DevOps, in any company. So there are a lot of, suppose if you are a front end engineer, right? And if the job demands back end engineer, you cannot apply to that because your skills do not match to that role, right? You can only apply to the role that you are comfortable in and that you know, right? Similarly, for anything, whatever your skills are, either you have to develop another skill or other skills, or you have to apply to the same skills that you know. So it's as simple as that. You do not have to complicate things, right? And see what is their interview process. So I think people go from start to end. I'm saying ki do the reverse thing. Go from end to a start. What do they need? What is the interview process? What are the skills that are required? And then start your preparation from there, right? So that's how you can do and you should do. And whatever suits you and whatever is your skill, you can definitely get a job there. It's just that you have to be good at what you are doing.
Perfect. There's one question. Okay. So he has 3 months SEO working off page. but he's a PHP Laravel developer, and he wants to learn DSA.
Hmm.
And he's also asking how to do interview preparation for PHP, Laravel, and DSA. So basically, I think he's
Okay.
a PHP developer, and
Yeah, and he wants to do DSA.
yeah.
See, I mean, yes, there are jobs in PHP Laravel, but I think they are very few nowadays. Earlier, it used to be a very hot language, but currently it's not there. I'm not sure that you get the in coding competitions or in coding test, you get the PHP language as the DSA or not. But if you get it, then definitely uh, you should be able to solve questions and prepare DSA. That's not DSA is a concept, right? In what language you code is a different thing, but you should understand the concept ki how arrays are made, how they are stored, and each language has their own way of representing all those data structures, right? So yes, but I would suggest you to build few other skills as well. Keeping at a look at market nowadays, I would suggest that uh, start learning some other languages as well. As PHP, yes, there are jobs. Yes, you can build your expertise there as well, but there are not many opportunities out there, right? So you should start or you should prepare yourself in another language, learn another language. Yes, it is there, but see, I have also learned 3 4 languages, so you can also learn any other language which is relevant to the current job market, right? So you also have to see the job market as well. And DSA you can learn in any language. That's not an issue. See, I code currently in JavaScript or TypeScript, but for solving data structure and algorithm questions, I go to C++, right? Similarly, you can build a new skill, right, which is relevant to the job market, but you can solve questions in PHP as well. That's not an issue. But I would rather suggest in your case, yes, you can learn DSA, you can do everything, but yes, it will take some time. So I would suggest you to learn a new language which is relevant currently, and then also do CSA on the DSA on the side. So yeah.
Ashish, I hope that your question was answered. There's someone who is trying to unmute Tadala Someshwar. You're trying to ask a question. Wanted to unmute. You have a few minutes if you want to ask. Guys, anyone? We have a couple of minutes. I'm just going through the chats as well. If I missed anything. Okay, yeah. We got a question. I'm a fresher and I am good at core Java, and I know the basic fundamentals of DSA. Currently, I'm going through the Spring Boot. So, is it good to go with Spring Boot or should I practice DSA?
I think you should do both. DSA is really important for interviews, and since you are a fresher, DSA will be major part of your interviews. So DSA is important and you have to prepare for it, whether you like it or not, right? So in schools, there used to be 5 subjects, right, till 10th. And there was one subject you did not like, but you studied it anyways, right, to score good marks. So that's how it is. You have to understand DSA. See, it's not that DSA is not used, right? It's used like whether you are up, like working or not working. It's used in different forms, not in a way where we solve questions, but in taking decisions. Ki what data structure should I use so that it will take less space or it will be faster, right? So it is used here and there while you are working. So yes, you are doing Spring Boot. That's great. Do that, but also practice DSA as well, right? So like I suggest every student to at least practice 1 hour of DSA daily. It should be non-negotiable for a student. 1 hour of DSA daily without fail, and then do anything else. Do not watch Netflix for 1 hour. Uh, leave Netflix and do DSA. I think that will be more helpful. But jokes apart, yes, DSA is important. You should do DSA, and you are doing Spring Boot. Yes, learn that and make some projects. It will help you out definitely. Yeah.
Sorry, one last. Yeah,
Sir,
Tadala.
ఇది ఓన్లీ బేసిక్ క్లాసులే సార్ ఇది.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
ఓన్లీ ఫర్ బేసిక్ క్లాస్ ఫర్ ది మీటింగ్ టుడే.
Sorry, we're not able to hear you properly.
Today is basic class in the meeting interview.
Are you asking today is basic interview class?
Yes, yes.
No, this is a webinar, just for knowledge sharing purpose. So we'll have this every day at 7 p.m.
Every day 7 p.m.
Yeah, every day 7 p.m.
Tomorrow is interview for me, all of it.
Sorry. So guys, these are webinar sessions. We'll have them every day, Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. Saturday, Sunday between 3 to 5 p.m. This every day different mentor, different speaker will be coming. They'll be sharing, like Aman has shared his expertise on interviews. Every day different mentor will be taking different topic. So you can join at 7 p.m. Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. Saturday, Sunday between 3 to 5 p.m. Okay, great. I think we will conclude the session, Aman. So, any final thoughts, final takeaway?
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of questions asked on DSA. What should we do? I think it's important to understand that as students, I mean, DSA is the basic need. Uh, Most of the companies, at least 70 to 80% of companies ask DSA, at least in online assessment or face-to-face interviews. So you need to learn this because I think everyone is learning nowadays, and competition, since everything is online now, competition has become more and more, right? So there is no way around it. And yes, on the side, you have to build some skill as well, like anything front end, back end, or any other skill that AI, ML, there are a lot of skills that you can learn, whatever interests you. But at the same time, you should learn DSA. I think both things have their own place and they should be done simultaneously. And yeah, I think they both are important to get a job nowadays. So that's what I would say.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining in. So with this, we'll be concluding today's session. Thank you so much, Aman, for joining us today and for sharing your expertise. I believe everyone found this session useful, and I think we were able to address all the doubts and queries. There are a couple more coming in, but we have unfortunately ran out of time. So thank you
Yeah.
everyone for joining in and making this a successful session. Please do fill the feedback form that I've shared multiple times in the chat. It helps us improve the sessions, and also it will help us pick up the topics for the upcoming sessions. You can also visit the Apna website. I've just put the link in the chat. Here you'll find the recording of today's session and also the previous sessions that were organized. You can check for upcoming events and also register there. You can also register by joining the Apna community and commenting interested on the events announcement post that we make there. So as mentioned earlier, we'll keep having sessions every day. Tomorrow it is at 7 p.m. again. We hope to see you all there. Good night and have a great evening. Thank you so much. Thank you, Aman.